Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined today by Gianni the Greek and Marco D'Angelo. Guys, we're talking about a really interesting game here. San Fran catching 6.5 at Kansas City. Kansas City is just flying high after a win over your Pittsburgh Steelers there, Marco. I'm waiting for a letdown spot, but I don't think this is it. Your thoughts on this game?
Well, obviously, this is the home opener for Kansas City. They played the first 2 games on the road, and Pat Mahomes, what can you say? He's just lit it up the 2 weeks, but let's be fair. He went against the LA Chargers.
They are the San Diego Chargers for life. I'm calling them San Diego Chargers for life.
Defense that's not that good. They didn't have Bosa in the lineup. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I've been preaching about this defense since preseason of how bad the Steeler defense was going to be. So I'm not shocked at the numbers that he's put up. Now this week he's going to play San Francisco, and you're seeing a total. The game, I'm kind of on the fence, but I love this total. It's too high. You've got San Francisco and Kansas City. They put a total up of 56.5. Full disclosure, I got 57 last night at stations here in town, which tends to be a little square and put the higher total up. I don't think you're going to see that. And if you remember what happened the last couple weeks, the teams had to abandon their running game against Kansas City. So if you look at Kansas City's defensive stats, looks like they only gave up 153 yards on the ground in 2 games. No, the teams quit running because they fell behind. The Chargers fell behind 14-0 before, they were 5 minutes into the game, and Pittsburgh was down 21-0. So James Conner was no factor in that game. San Francisco can't go in there with Jimmy Garoppolo and try to trade points with Kansas City. They need to shorten the game, and the game plan's got to be try to run the football. Nobody's done that. Don't fall behind by 14 points out of the gate. And I think that's what's going to happen here. And if Kansas City does have a big lead, we haven't seen it yet because Andy Reid had to keep his foot on the gas because the 2 teams he faced kept coming back. I don't see Jimmy Garoppolo coming back like Big Ben or Phillip Rivers if he falls behind. We've seen Andy Reid take his foot off the gas too many times in the past, and that helps my under as well.
We absolutely have, and I was shocked that we did not see the Pittsburgh game. VR, this is what everybody wants to know. What are we betting on this game? What are the sharp guys playing? What are your guys playing? Any steam, anything to tell our viewers?
I think the move on the total is strictly getting out ahead of the market. That's why I think you're safe there. I didn't see any legit move on that over in any accounts. What I did see is a buy order out on San Francisco +7. Not out there yet. If it gets there, that's what they're going to hammer, San Francisco +7. And it makes absolute sense to me. Most guys I talk to expect some shops to get there because the public's going to come in heavy on Kansas City. More importantly, there's going to be a ton of teasers tied into Kansas City as well. But here's the bottom line. Prior to week 1, I don't think there's a long-term winning NFL sports bettor that would have made Kansas City a favorite over San Francisco in a neutral field. Nobody before week 1. In fact, most would have had San Francisco about a -1.5 point favorite. After week 2, I think maybe if you make an adjustment, it's a pick on a neutral field. The look-ahead line on this game was 4. Now we're looking at a 6.5, and like I said, these guys are looking to buy it +7. I think it's a perfect case of overvalued versus undervalued here. We've seen this from Kansas City already. Last year, they beat New England. All of a sudden, everyone fell in love. They went 5-0. What did they do? They lost 6 of their next 7 games. It's so funny how the stock on Garoppolo has dropped so much in just 2 games. From last year, he was the savior. The last 4 weeks, people couldn't wait to watch him play for San Francisco. All of a sudden, he comes out 2 games, only 55% completions, and it's forget about Garoppolo. I think he shows up in this game, especially with Mahomes on the other side, getting all his attention. So I think there's some pride on the line. And more importantly, I think there's a ton of line value. Again, you're not guaranteed to cash a ticket if you're getting line value, but if you could practice that exercise over and over and over and over again, you're going to turn a profit long term, which is the name of the game. And again, in the short term, nothing's guaranteed. Just because you're getting the best of it doesn't mean a thing. I could give you 10-1 on a coin flipping. You could still lose it if we flip it one time, even though you got the best bet possible on a 50-50 proposition. But if we repeat that over and over and I keep giving you 10-1, I'm going to go broke. And with this line, it shouldn't be more than 3.5, 4 at the most. You're giving me a couple extra points in the NFL, I'm taking it. I like San Francisco. Wouldn't be surprised if they pull the outright upset, we sprinkle a little something, something.
Oh, I like it. Calling for the outright upset VR. Get $25 in wager bucks added to your account after your first purchase at WagerTalk.com.